So in this video, we're going to take a look at the relationship of the area of a rectangular square to the side length. So let's first start by reviewing the area of a rectangle because most of the rooms in our house are rectangular. So we can relate this to finding the square footage of a room. So if I have a room that let's say is 12 by 20 feet, if I wanted to find the area of a rectangle, we do that as length times width. So I can take the 12 and the 20 and I can multiply those two values together. And that gives me 240. And then let's say each of these measurements is in feet, so then my unit would be feet squared. Now we have a special situation when a room is a square, because when I'm dealing with a square, the area is still found as length times width, but we know that a square has 4 congruent sides. So when I do length times width, this number is the same as this number. So what we often do is it's not really a different formula, but we call every side of the square S, so that the area of my square, we actually call it S squared. So let's say that I have a square room, and to find the square footage, my room is really small. Let's just say it's a mud room, 10 by 10. So my area would be 10 times 10, which is 100. Let's say it's feet, so my answer would be square feet. Now, because of the unique fact that area is a side squared when you're dealing with a square, we can actually find the length of a side based on the area for this shape. So let's say I know that I have a room and it has a square footage of 400 square feet. And I want to find the length of one of these sides. So if area for a square is side squared, then to solve for my side, I would take the square root of both sides. So if I have 400 as my area equals side squared, then I would take the square root of both sides. Now, 400 is a nice pretty square root because it's going to be 20. The units for 20, since it was square feet, my units are feet. Now, in the application problems, not every problem is going to have a nice, pretty square root. Some of them may have decimal values. So let's try something like that. Let's say the area of a square room, or maybe even a fenced-in area, let's say it is 527 square feet. Now remember, the unique thing about a square is it's not two variables, it's just one because it equals side squared. Then I'm going to take the square root of both sides, because to get rid of that squared exponent, I take the square root of it. We had a nice little section on that in our readings. And this time, the square root of 527 is not going to be a nice, pretty even number. So what you're going to have to do is carefully look at the directions in your problems and decide, do I need to make it a decimal using Web 2.0? Or do I need to reduce the root? For the application problems, I'm perfectly fine with using a decimal. So I'm going to use Web 2.0, and I'm going to type in the square root of 527, and I get roughly 22.956. And I would check my directions, and it's going to be feet because that was square feet. And I would check my directions to see where they wanted me to round to. If they wanted me to round to the nearest foot, that would be 23. If they would want me to round to 3 decimal places, that would be this entire statement here. So the key here is when we're dealing with a square space or a square shape, to find the side, when you know the area, you're just going to take the square root and then follow directions. Now, real quick, I just want to do one with a different unit. So let's say that the area of something is going to be 450 yards. So I have 450 yards squared. When I take the square root of both sides, because my area is in square yards, my side is going to be in yards. So when I take the square root of 450, I'm going to, again, check the directions, and I'm going to see how do they want me to round my decimal, or do they want me to leave it as a root? And I get roughly 21.231. So make sure that your units are appropriate for the area that you're finding.